A few weeks ago, I made a video about Quazartico being evil, but not really. Not all of Quazartico would be evil, but part of them would. You can watch this video to understand more of what I'm talking about. As for the reason, I suspected that they wanted something with the source of Mega Evolution, and so they wanted more Pokemon inside of the city and wanted to make bonds stronger. Stronger bonds, higher chance for Mega Evolution. But what if the reason isn't exactly that? What if it is something else entirely and something that they have already achieved? So hey, I'm not so a strainer, and do they want Zygarde? Let's get into it. In Pokémon Legends Arceus, the whole thing could be summarized by Volo wanted Arceus, or wanted to be acknowledged by Arceus, and so he joined forces with Giratina, and our whole incredibly fun adventure in Hisui began. It's also pretty funny that Arceus wanted so little to do with Volo that he brought someone from the future instead of dealing with him. But I wanted to try to apply this to Pokémon Legends Z-A. I know they're different games and they are very different settings and time periods, but I wouldn't be surprised if the legendary Pokémon is the actual goal of whoever is the villain in this game. That has been a thing in many Pokemon games. The evil team wants the legendary Pokemon and so they do something, usually seek it out in order to make the Pokemon's powers theirs. Like you can make my day by liking, subscribing and joining the channel. So this is such a common trope in Pokemon already that I could easily see it being applied once more in Pokemon. Sure, there would be some twists to make it different, but in reality it's the same. There's a boss Pokemon and someone wants it. It just makes sense within the franchise. Before I continue though, do you see Zygarde being used from the beginning like Koraidon and Miraidon? Let me know down below. Like I said before, I think Quazartico or someone at Quazartico will be behind whatever bad thing happens in this high-tech Lumiose City. And I think it very likely has something to do with the ultimate weapon or something similar to it. Now I've also talked about a possible different timeline where the weapon wasn't fired and thus not eventually destroyed in this video, but let's follow the more logic route and assume that it was indeed destroyed during the events of Pokémon X and Y. This means that they would have to find a way to build another one, needing both Yveltal and Xerneas, as I'm assuming this would combine both the life-giving and life-taking aspect of the weapon. The Xerneas part is not as harmful, but the Yveltal part takes the life force of everything around it, meaning that you would need a lot of life inside of a city, maybe more than Lumiose already had. Especially when you consider that the wording during the Kalos War cutscene tells us that the lives of many Pokemon were used in the weapon. Which leads me to believe that humans don't really count for it, and while Lumiose City already had a bunch of Pokemon, which was the reason why I felt the game was in the past, I was very wrong, the amount of energy needed for this simply surpasses all of what was available. So what do? Well, you create wild zones to make sure that not only trainers' Pokemon live inside of the city, there's a whole bunch of wild Pokemon now roaming around, supposedly making their bonds stronger with people and living in harmony with them, when in reality they're just food for Yveltal and nothing more. They are food for the weapon, the secret weapon that someone is building or wants to build. But when we look at the logo for Pokémon Legends Z-A, the A that supposedly or apparently seems to resemble the weapon, the ultimate weapon, also kinda resembles complete form Zygarde. That makes me think that there might be another way for them to reach their goal. Zygarde is a strange and powerful Pokémon. Its complete form is said to be able to overwhelm even Yveltal and Xerneas. I mean, it literally breaks their auras, almost as if it exists to make sure that their life cycle is completed naturally, and it is also said to be able to radiate from the orifice on its chest high-powered energy that obliterates everything. This is done naturally, and it's likely able to be abused and manipulated by technology in order for it to serve a different kind of goal. Just like what happened with Yveltal and Xerneas during Pokémon X and Y. Xerneas' tree-bound sleep lasts for 1000 years, and I believe the same likely happens with Yveltal's cocoon-bound slumber. Still, through the power of technology, Team Flare was able to make this happen. But Zygarde isn't easy to find, or at least kinda, because half of it was in Pokemon X and Y just sitting at the end of Turbinus Cave, and there was half of it in Alola as well, sitting at the end of Resolution Cave, so that was kinda easy, but all the parts, all the missing pieces that you need in order to form the complete form, they're kinda hard to find, they are everywhere. They are monitoring the whole ecosystem, so the only thing you can do is roam the whole place and try to find them. Unless we do something that hurts the ecosystem, something that triggers Zygarde's actions. We know that this is being done, we just don't know if it is being done on purpose or if it is being done by accident. If Zygarde is in Lumiose City, like I mentioned on a previous video, then it means that the ecosystem is in trouble. We just don't really know for sure why. It's possible that the wild zones themselves are creating some kind of imbalance that needs to be resolved, but I don't think that would warrant the appearance of complete form Zygarde. I mean, we know that's gonna happen, they wouldn't have a Zygarde game without it. This means that something much more dangerous is happening in the city, and in my opinion, it is being done in order to lure Zygarde there and then trap it somehow. In fact, considering 50% formed Zygarde was always available fully formed, I wouldn't be surprised if half of Zygarde is already trapped inside of what used to be Lysander Labs and that now happen to be where the Quazartico headquarters are. It's also impossible to know at this point if the whole battle zone system that works with the Z-A Royale competition isn't putting everything in some kind of crazy imbalance. You have trainers battling it out over and over, and they're even using Mega Evolution, or at least we are, that we've seen, time and time again. Lumiose City basically became some kind of battle facility that also has places where Pokemon spawn. We also know that this is very likely being done by Quazartico since the pattern on the phone app seems to be similar to the one behind us right here in this scene. There is also the fact that I feel you cannot get into the city without some kind of permit or some kind of authorization, and I feel you cannot bring Pokemon from outside because why else would we have a Mega Bracelet but not a starter Pokemon? This would also explain why the game happens inside of Lumiose and nowhere else, you are not able to leave the place. Maybe some kind of system, like the Paradise Protection Protocol that prevented Pokemon from leaving the Pokeballs, is also preventing Pokemon from leaving Lumiose City. I mean, if we assume that the wild ones stick to the wild zones because they cannot get past that green barrier, if something like that was around the city, who would be able to escape? It's also possible that even to enter the wild zones we need some kind of authorization, which leads me to believe that even humans cannot get past that thing. So if Pokemon cannot get past it and people cannot get past it, then it would be a perfect device to prevent anyone from leaving the city. The website also says that the battle zone areas are fenced off, meaning that those red lights are also a barrier. We need to click A to enter before getting inside those areas, which I know it's for loading reasons, but might also mean that there's something preventing us from entering until a certain point of the game or until certain conditions are met. By luring Zygarde in and then trapping it inside, they would maximize their odds of finding all of the cells and being able to form complete Zygarde and then using it as a weapon in the endgame. Basically, while I feel like Zygarde would be by our side in the beginning, we will end up having to battle it in order to save not only Lumiose City, but maybe even the whole world. And maybe that someone would be someone that we know from before, but that's a story for another video. For now, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one. But before I go, I want to thank my YouTube members Dashplays and Yahtzee, and Twitch subscribers and Newbies here and Zane's 222 for going that extra mile. From the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much.